Gonna have a bit of a non-traditional morning this morning. Zoolander and Clover are still back there packing up, but they're gonna meet us in about a mile at Lone Star Geyser because we have reason to suspect, based on the southbounders information, that the Lone Star Geyser will erupt in maybe 32 minutes. This is called the Firehole River. You can kind of tell why. Lots and lots of little features down here. So we got these interesting storks over here. But more interestingly and more obscured is this grizzly bear and its cub that are hiding behind these bushes over here. I think it's bathing its cub. Let's see. Not very far away. We have to go this way too. Yeah.
That's a big fucking bear.
Yeah. All right, back on track. Gonna try to get to the geyser before it goes off. If we don't run any more grizzly bears. Bushwhack here is now the Lone Star Geyser expert. He said he's been sitting in his cuck chair watching it for the last 15 minutes and says this is not the full blast, so we're gonna have to wait a little bit. It appears to be possibly fully erupting. It's also just us too. I'm really happy that we're here early enough in the morning that nobody else is getting to ruin the experience. Well, we waited another half hour for the secondary eruption, which never happened. Now we have to go back into the Grizzly zone. So I'm hoping I slip past, Bushwhack slips past, because I don't want to see somebody get eaten by a grizzly bear, but if any of the people that come behind us do, they'll be interesting to hear about. All right, no grizzlies again this morning. About to be at the Old Faithful area though, and I'm really interested to see how this place is. It's going to be pandemonium down here, I'm sure. Looking pretty urban. Still very early, but I'm going to get to the food before it's too late. Got a man who's efficient. Somebody who's likes sugars. And then the revolting glutton himself. We've only been around here for 3 hours, but we're finally walking over to the Old Faithful geyser itself. This should go off any moment. Let's see. We've got plenty of folks standing in the entrance. You, the viewer, are about to see something that's never been videotaped before. For the first time here, you'll see Old Faithful, the geyser go off. Oh, there's a gush there.
How funny would it be if we all started a countdown without running?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You see that when that dude does that and then lightning strikes and he's like, what?
Everybody here hates us. We got a lot of opinions flying around here about geyser quality.
Ye old faithful.
Yeah, we saw two others that, well, the first one, like you said, was more faithful. Went off every 60 seconds. And the
Faithful as hot dog.
Lone Star, you could stand up right next to as if you were going to blow your eyeballs out of your head or something. I think it's pretty good. Maybe not Old Faithful, but
I'm gonna follow close.
the gang leaves. Caused enough domestic terrorism in Old Faithful Village to call it good. Now we go to the geyser basin here. We're not used to this, but we're finally back in the woods. That was one of the longest piss carries on this whole section of trail. It's been a while since we had to carry our piss more than, say, 500 yards. Clover's stealing bushwhack's poles because he went off to go get rid of his piss carry as well. Wax back there irritated, he can't find him. What do you think?
Up my ass.
Yeah, I bet you could fit them up there.
You're getting warmer. You're getting really warm. Ah, red hot.
Kind of working our way back into the actual wilderness here now. So thanks to Splash's on the nose reporting, we just learned that the anaconda assassin has been captured. Clover still feels compelled to assassinate him though, so when we get close to town, don't be surprised if he Jack Ruby's that guy. I'm gonna try to stop him though. Just keep you all updated.
I didn't understand like the whole having to take their hat off and do really hot.
Just in the last few weeks, we started getting these, feelings like this through hike is starting to get into its final phase. And it sounds kind of ridiculous considering we're still like 800 or 900 miles from Canada, but it's just so long. And that's starting to relatively seem like a short distance. And I realized that tonight might kind of make that feeling a little bit more official because the Park Service has kind of put about 15 of us CDT through hikers camping in the same campsite at the end of the park. And right afterwards tomorrow, there's going to be a massive split. We're about, seems like 75% plus of the hikers are doing the Super Butte Big Sky Cutoff, which is going to shorten their trail by about 200 or 300 miles. Whereas Clover and I and a small amount of people are going west on the red line. And so I think this is the last time we're going to see a lot of these people, probably ever. A lot of these people that we met anywhere from, Silver City through Colorado and Wyoming to here, seeing each other off and on the entire trail. And yeah, that's going to be it. So that kind of makes that ending phase feel a lot more official. And I think we're going to try to, soak up the experience a little bit tonight and just probably say some likely proper goodbyes. A lot of these people are people I've gotten to know really well. So, some of them we even consider kind of true friends at this point. We've, camped together a lot, laughed about things, experienced like bad snow conditions, weather events, weird hitches and things. So yeah, it's kind of going to be a little bit of a somber moment, but it's just the nature of this trail, I think. The campsite that we're supposed to be staying at tonight sounds like a pretty good spot for all of this actually too. We followed this trail up on top of the basin, and there's a lake here at a pretty high altitude called Summit Lake, and we're gonna have a little beach apparently and everything, so that'll be nice.
Black one,
Yo, fresh.
I'm sure you get this all the time, but do you know what your back looks like right now?
400 milliliters. We're having like the bear hang Olympics here right now. varying levels of success. But overall, this has been a good night. Tomorrow is the Idaho border.
How did this, where was the...
Well, it's morning on Summit Lake, and this morning could be best described as frigid. This is the coldest morning I think I've had on trail since New Mexico, that at least that I can remember. It's very cold. My fingers are about to freeze off. But in about 2 hours, we'll be in New Mexico. Wyoming and the third state will be behind us. So we're gonna meet up with Zoolander and Bushwhack and celebrate, I guess, a little bit. Smelled sulfur all night, and now I know why. There's like a little basin just a half-mile away from camp filled with these roiling mud pits. This would be the perfect place to run into a grizzly bear, I've got to say. Well, folks, this is Idaho. This must be the potatoes that it's famous for.
What up? We made it. We are in Idaho, I think.
Somehow, yeah. Thank God for Splash here. She, how would Zoolander have survived his alcoholic withdrawal without your help?
8:30 in the morning.
We moved on from the border. We drank that fifth of whiskey together, and even afterwards, still cold. So I hope this isn't a trend for Idaho, because I'm not really feeling it too much. We're just gonna be walking downhill and flat through these woods for the next 20-something miles, I think, until we hit Maxin in the morning and get a soda before continuing on for the next 3 days to Lima. Plans have changed. We're going through Maxin today because this route is so easy. We're gonna be there at like 3 p.m. anyways. So we're moving things ahead of schedule a little bit. We've been routed through these forest roads, which somebody really doesn't want people to drive down anymore, because they've taken excavators out here and piled up berms like every 100 yards. They really don't want us driving through here. So many of these things. Nobody told us this was going to be paved. Walking through small towns in the US like this on a thru hike, it's always interesting because you go through somewhere you've never heard of before, never even knew existed, and I learn a little bit about it. I could tell just by walking down the road that, interesting, I found somebody's iPhone on the fucking road. Why do I keep always finding people's expensive devices while filming? Anyways, what I was trying to say was, it seems like Maxin is a like a river rafting town or something, because I've seen so many cars go by with rafts on them and kayaks and things along those lines. It must be kind of a destination for that. And, you know, it's something you could look into, or I'd look into if I'm in this part of the country later on at some point in time. But it's also part of the mystery of this phone, is I assume it fell off a boat or something, or a trailer from people going to the river. And they'll probably call here in a little bit, and I'll figure it out. This is pretty interesting town, I guess. River goes right through the middle of it. We're at this place called Cafe Sabor, and I've made one of the most awful fajitas I've ever seen. We're trying to figure out how to get this meal for free. We're wondering if we could just stick this phone in there because nobody's called it, and say, "Excuse me, waiter, there's a phone in my fajitas." They might oblige. I don't know, but I think that this is a child's phone too. Seeming based on the weird ass application notifications they have and the fact that they haven't called it. We have eaten a bunch of Mexican food. We got some shakes. We're leaving Maxin, kind of. That's what we're gonna tell the authorities. We're actually probably about to break the law, but we don't really know for sure. Clover calls it Schrodinger's Hill. That hill right there may or may not be legal to camp on. At this very moment, I don't give a fuck if it is. We're gonna go wander up into those woods, camp, and then we're gonna come back down tomorrow morning and get Schrodinger's continental breakfast at the Spring Hill Suites. I hope this all works out.
I mean, basically, if we just show up like looking like we just woke up with like bedhead and no backpacks, they're not gonna question shit, and we're gonna get eggs tomorrow.
All right, let's see if it works.
Yeah.
Back in New Mexico at the beginning of this through hike, we would have been very deliberate about how we appeared, about what we were doing, if we were gonna stealth camp. And much like our tiredness has built from hiking, our social tiredness is built as well. We don't even remotely care about appearing like we're not breaking law or being homeless now. We're just gonna do it. We have a great view of the town here. I just came back from inspecting the road. You look like some sort of mythological wise man or something. That would be some sort of sprite in the woods that gives out some sort of advice, but whatever you would give would have to be bullshit.
You're in my light. Get out of the way.
If anybody knows what reference that is, you probably have a pretty fucked up mind.
Drop it in the comments.
What's going on at this tent? Is this Cheeto bag bear safe?
Oh, fuck yeah.
We've got basically like a Red Dead Redemption camp set up here. There's a lot of eventful things happening at this point, but we're all about to go to bed, so that's going to be it for the night.